Ladies and gentlemen, men and women, boys and girls, welcome to the most must watch Baseway TV. My name is Vatican Kayembe, and today we're going to talk about, this show is Talk Health. But today the title is right there below your screen. What does it say? How to live well with HIV. You know, we have Mama in the building, and she's the regular guest of this show. Mama Osana, welcome again.
Nice.
We met the last time, did we
Yes,
not?
we did. Yes,
And then we talked about HIV in general and that kind of stuff.
Yes,
But we said we were gonna split this in,
in many sessions.
Exactly.
Yes.
So today we're going to talk specifically about how to live with HIV.
How to live well.
How to live well with
HIV.
Thank you for
Yes.
correcting me.
Yes.
How to live well with HIV.
Okay. Let me say this. Living with HIV does not define who I am. I'm still a mother. I'm still a wife. I'm still an aunt. I'm still a sister. So it really does not define me. I live with it. I take my medication. I have a healthy lifestyle, and therefore it should never be an issue. I do take my medication, and nobody would ever know unless I mention it. So even when I came here the other day, I had to mention it for you to know that
Exactly.
I live with HIV. But I live well with it, and I make the decisions on how I want to live.
Yeah.
It doesn't define my life.
So
I define my life.
What's the secret?
The secret is just to be comfortable with your diagnosis. You know, one of the major things is when you have a secret has power over you.
Okay.
When you do not have a secret, it doesn't have power over you.
Okay.
So for me, HIV does not have power over me because people can speak about me. I don't care because I have said it.
Yeah.
They don't have to talk behind my back.
You make
And
the rules.
I make the rules. So if I keep this secret, I've got HIV, if my friends get to know that I live with HIV, what are they going to say? Then I'm losing the power. I'm giving them the power. But when I talk about it, I have the power.
Exactly.
So that has given me a good mind, which means I do not suffer from issues around stress, issues around anxiety, and I just, I'm quite comfortable in my body. I'm who I am. I live with this condition. You want to come and talk to me about it? Come and talk to me about it, and we have the discussion.
Yeah, especially.
And that is how I live well with it, and I accept it. I have accepted my diagnosis.
So number one is to accept, because you already know that you are HIV positive.
Yes.
But to live well with it, you need to accept the situation.
Yes, you have to accept the situation and move on from that.
Move on from that.
Yes.
And then don't have a secret.
No, don't have a secret around
Because when you
HIV.
have a secret, it's like you self-stigmatize yourself.
You self-stigmatize yourself because you are thinking, when people get to know, you walk into a room, I hope nobody knows that I live with HIV. Actually, no, it doesn't matter. It really
And then
does
in
not
the end,
matter.
you're going to complain people, they are discriminating against me.
Yes, because
while you are probably the first one who is discriminating against
self-discriminating,
yourself.
yes. And, I always say people should never ask me, how did you get it? They should ask me, how do I live with it?
Yeah.
And I will tell them how I live with it. Because how I got it, we all know 97% of the population that have HIV, they got it through sex. So if we do not talk about that,
we'll get to that.
Yes,
we'll get to that. But we've got another question here. That's how you describe how to live well with
HIV.
HIV. And we were talking about what do you need to do? Do you need to?
You need to eat. You need to eat well. I personally, I'm not a restaurant person, and I'm not a takeaway food person because I don't know where they've been cooked and I don't know how long they've been cooked. So I always make sure I have fresh food. I eat fresh food. I go to the supermarket. I buy fresh vegetables. I buy fresh potatoes. I buy whatever I'm going to cook, and I do my own cooking fresh from the start. So it gives you good food. Food in itself is health, isn't it? It's nutrition to the body.
Definitely.
That's why there are courses on nutrition, on food. not even medication. But another thing also I do to live well with HIV, I take my medication every day as prescribed by my consultant. So I make sure every morning I wake up, I take my medication. And whenever I do have a problem, which I think the tablets are causing, I go back to my clinician and I say to him, you know what, I'm having these problems. What do you think? And we sit down and we have that conversation that allows me to live well, not to have anxiety, whether to think, is it the HIV? Is it not the HIV? What is going on? So that my relationship with my clinician is very, very clear cut. We talk about my HIV. We discuss what could be the problem.
I think the other good way to live well with HIV, what you need to do, like I'm saying, like in terms of like in general, also is to be comfortable with your situation.
Yes, that's what I said. You have to be comfortable with who you are. Be comfortable with this condition that you are with. As I said, it doesn't define me. I define my rules, and the virus just lives with me. And that's about it. And I take my medication, and I eat well, and I exercise. Believe you me, I go to the gym about 5 hours a week. I do 5 hours of gymming every week. So I do aquafit, I do weights, I do all sorts of things. It just depends what kind of exercise you want to do in the gym. Some people prefer walking. They don't want to go to the gym. They go out walking. Go out walking. You know, it just does help you, because that is part of living well. And then do something that makes you happy.
I think also, like I was going to say there earlier as well, also to live well, you think it's also good to have a mindset that everything is under control.
Yes, it's good to have it. I know everything is under control because I have that contact with my clinician, and therefore every 6 months when I go into the to see them, and I have an MOT, like a car. You know, they take my bloods, they do everything, they check everything. If my liver function is okay, my kidney function is fine, everything, my heart is okay, and then they tell me the results, whether my CD4 count is okay. And for my age, my CD4 count is quite high, which is amazing because, you know, I make sure I do all those things.
So to live well with HIV, you have to be like a car, like MOT.
Not necessarily, but that's what I call it. Because for any car to be allowed to drive on Scottish roads or British roads, but you have to have an MOT.
I think so that's for not just for people that are living with HIV.
Yes, it's for everybody, really.
To be honest,
it's for everybody, really, to have an MOT once a year to make sure that your body is fine. And I have mine every 6 months, and it's around the HIV, and that keeps me happy. That tells me your CD4 count, which is the immune system, is doing well, and my viral load is undetectable, which means I can't pass on the virus to anybody, so I'm okay.
You're good.
Why
is that? Like, it's easier for people to talk about other illnesses, but when it comes to HIV, everybody's putting a standing block on that.
If you remember the first instance I came here, there are a lot of us out there who are living with diabetes. There are a lot of us out there who are living with high cholesterol. They are living with, you know, all sorts of these things where you take medication on a daily basis, high blood pressure. You take medication on a high every day. People are so willing to talk about it because it's something that they didn't actually sort of get from somebody. Whereas with HIV, you get HIV, as I said, 95% of the population which is living with HIV get it from sex. Besides children born with it, or people who inject drugs.
Let me be a little bit sarcastic here. You could get a cold. Someone can pass on a cold from you, but you talk about it.
You're getting it from the air. You know, you get cold from the air. You get TB from the air. So you feel.
No, we always say like, you pass the cold to me. Don't come because you pass it to me.
Yes, exactly. But you know, with HIV, you are doing it in an intimate space. When you go into a place to have sex, it's an intimate space. It's between two people. And that's supposed to be very pleasurable. That's supposed to be very nice. And yes, sex is amazing. But when then that sex manifests 6 months down the line with an illness or with a condition like living with HIV, everybody wants to talk like they don't have sex. And I said, we all need to talk about sex. Then the stigma will go down. We all need to talk about this, because if we don't talk about it, we are going to continue seeing people getting HIV because we do not talk about it. We need to educate ourselves as a community, as Africans, educate our children about sex, about issues around sex. I'm not saying we should denigrate sex and say it's bad or whatever. And as I said to you earlier on, when I was growing up, my mom used to say, don't play with boys. What does that mean? Don't play with boys. I didn't know what that meant. So to me, it meant I should never be around boys. I must be always playing with girls. What my mother meant at that point was saying, do not have sex with boys because you get pregnant. But she didn't know how to put it. That was her way of putting it. And she said, don't play with boys. So I was quite unaware of sexual health.
So to live well with HIV, you also need to talk about it in the sense that you talk like through sex you can get this thing.
These things, yes, you can get things. You know, as I always say, it's pleasurable, but sex can come up with a lot of other things. With not only HIV, you can get gonorrhea, you can get syphilis, you can get chlamydia, you can get all these bacterial infections that which I can't even pronounce. They can come with it, and it can bring a lot of difficulties. Even infertility comes about because of sexually transmitted infections. And in the African context, it's always the woman who can't have children, and the man is okay. But when you look at some of the stories, you actually realize it's because of sexually transmitted infections that the young woman could not get pregnant. Because things were happening in that relationship which you can't understand. So we need to be very cognizant of all these things that come.
So the question is, how do you eat well?
Like I said,
to live well with HIV.
I cook my food. I go to the supermarket.
You say that,
I cook my food, and like I said to you before, I go to the gym. I spend 5 hours every week in the gym, not at one time. So I go on Monday 1 hour, I go on Tuesday 2 hours, I go on Thursday 2 hours, I go on Friday 1 hour.
In terms of eating, in terms of eating, do you have particular fruits that you need to eat, particular vegetables that you need to eat?
Not necessarily. You just...
Because to me, I don't mean to say like, oh, you're HIV and you look this way, but you look very well that I envisage myself as like, I'm not trying to disclose your age here, but compared to your age, you look so amazing.
Yeah, but you don't have to eat.
We want to have the secret of what you eat to be the way you are.
No, not necessarily. I just eat fresh food. I buy my food. I buy fresh meat. I buy fresh vegetables. And I don't have special fruits that I eat.
You eat all sorts?
I eat all sorts of fruits, which I fancy at that point and at that time.
But what about the meat?
Meat, I eat beef. I come from a beef country. In my country, we eat a lot of beef, so I love my beef. I have my beef. And if you come from a place where they eat fish, a lot of people would prefer fish to beef. It's whatever, and some people prefer chicken to beef or fish. So whatever, but make sure you do your own cooking, and make sure you cook that food and it's well cooked. Because some of these meats, if you don't cook them very well, they can also poison your stomach.
Do you think, to live well with HIV, do you think you are required to eat fruit all the time?
Not necessarily.
Or just to eat maybe certain meat all the time?
Not
or
really.
Veg all the time?
No.
Just be normal like everybody else?
You can be as normal. Okay, my household is comprised of 3 people, including me. I'm the third person. And 2 of them don't have HIV. And therefore, I'm not going to impose a certain diet on them because of the HIV. We eat normal food. But one of the things that I do is we just cook normal food. So we cook potatoes, we cook fish, we cook meat, whatever is on the table. And as for fruit, it depends with your money. If you can afford to buy all kinds of fruits, buy them and eat them. If you like them, don't eat them because you think you live with HIV. Just buy fruits because you like to eat fruits.
Guys, remember we are talking about how to live well with HIV. And then this is a secret here. You need to eat fresh food, not all the time takeaways, fast food. And all that.
Fast foods and takeaways. Those are not healthy because fast foods and takeaways, you don't even know when they have been cooked. You don't know how they've been looked after. So yes, you can have them once in a while to spoil yourself. But
I think because we are talking about live well with HIV, and we are against our time, but we are doing well here. What kind of vitamin do you think people should have, with your experience, to live well with HIV? Do you require a certain vitamin to live well all the time, or you can just
for example, if I get a cold, I will maybe eat more oranges during that time, or anything citrus, because there's a lot of vitamin C in it.
Okay.
So I will go and get out my oranges or tangerines, as they call them here. We call them naches. You eat those because they help you with vitamin C. And if you want to go into these vitamin shops, you buy the vitamin C. It will help you with your cold. But there's nothing specific that you need to buy in terms of vitamins because you are living with HIV.
Okay.
My honest opinion is that food in itself is good as long as you continue to take your medication. You'll be in a good place. You'll be fine. Just like you live with high blood pressure, just like you live with high cholesterol, you will be okay. It's not anything that you should be worrying about because I've got HIV, therefore I've got to eat this vitamin. I have got to eat this fruit. I've got to do this. No, just live normal.
Good. Because of time, we go. And this is another question. Do you? Even though if to live well with HIV positive, remember guys, we are talking about how to live well with HIV positive. HIV, no, just HIV, how to live well with HIV. Do you still need to be checked, even though you know that, yes, I've known my status? Do you still need to go to your doctor and keep on getting checked and checked and checked? Or you do it just once and then you start getting treatment and all that kind? You forget about it getting checked?
No, I get checked. Like I told you, I go every 6 months to my clinic. For me, it's in Edinburgh. I go to my clinic every 6 months and I have my bloods and everything. And those bloods tell me whether my CD4 count is still okay. And they tell me whether my viral load is undetectable. So those I go every 6 months.
Okay.
So it's not as if I go in every month. It's once every 6 months.
So is it required or just up to
It is required because we get it's required by the doctor at present. That's what we do. So you go in every 6 months and they do their checks.
Is that for everybody else or just particular persons?
That's for everybody else.
Everybody.
I mean, it depends on how you've been adhering to your medication. I remember when I first started, which was so many years ago, I used to go to the hospital every month, and then they changed that to every 3 months, and then they changed it to every 4 months, and then now I'm going every 6 months. So sometimes
depends how well you are looking after yourself.
It depends on how well you're adhering to your medication and how you're looking after yourself, because we need to be active in our lives. We are not born to be sedentary, to sit in front of the television all day and have a pity party. Oh, I live with HIV, I can't even do this, I can't do that. I get up in the morning and I go to work and I do anything that anybody else who doesn't have HIV does. So, but I see my clinician every 6 months.
Do you think if you have, to live well with HIV positive, I keep on saying positive, I don't know why. To live well with HIV, do you think that you still use such a thing as condom to protect yourself, or use precaution again because you've already have HIV? If you want to sleep with someone who is got HIV positive, do you still to protect yourself? Or you can just you've already have it and then just keep going?
No. I honestly believe there's the new study that came out, which is the latest thing, which talks of U is equal to U. It means if you are undetectable, you don't transmit the HIV virus. That sounds good. That's excellent. But the reason people do get HIV is because we were having sex without a condom. And it's not only HIV we are worrying about here. We are worrying about all other sexually transmitted
But
diseases.
if, for example,
So-
HIV, if you're already HIV positive, then well, you're talking about living well.
Yes, I'm living
So-
well. So,
so
I always
Do
say,
do you need to protect yourself?
Yes.
Or if, for example,
it depends. It depends with your relationship. I mean, if you are in a
Uh-huh.
monogamous relationship and you know you are in that monogamous relationship and
Yeah.
you don't stray, you are in that relationship. There will be no need maybe for you to use condoms because it's you is equals to you. But if you are having extra other things out there and you are living with HIV, you could actually get another strain of HIV and get reinfected with another strain of HIV.
So can you-
So in essence, what I'm saying is, when you live with HIV and you live well with HIV, it's always good to protect oneself. It's always good to use a condom. Whether you're a woman or a man,
Unless-
you need to use a condom because you have the compromised immune system. Whatever that person is carrying, because you have a compromised immune system and you are sustaining your immune system because of medication, should they have anything in their bloodstream, you're more likely to catch it because your immune system is already compromised. So why do you want to get other little things in your body when in actual fact you are doing well
Yeah.
with one thing in your body? Why are you going to look for herpes from somebody because you refuse to use a condom?
Yeah.
And it's something that can be easily transmitted.
Yeah.
So I am saying to people, to anyone,
Because some people, they forgot that. Oh, we are really behind our time. But some people, they forgot that when you have HIV, you need to protect yourself.
Yes.
That's why even there's a spread of the virus, because people that they have HIV, they forgot about protecting themselves. They're worrying about like others.
No, you need to protect
You
yourself.
need to protect yourself. as well.
Everybody needs to protect
You
themselves.
could end up
When-
sleeping with someone who's got HIV already, and
Yes.
then, as you are saying,
Yeah, my point is you need to protect yourself regardless, whether you have HIV or you don't have HIV.
Yeah.
You need to protect yourself. So when you are having casual relationships,
Yeah.
it's not because you don't love the person that you insist on the condom. No, use a condom. There are female condoms. We call them femidoms. Women can wear condoms. Men can wear condoms. So if you are in a relationship where the power dynamics are such that you can't tell the men to wear a condom, you go wear a condom. You are the woman, go get a femidom and put it on. And you're protecting yourself. And it's about self-preservation. It's not about the other person
The
out
other
there. It's
person.
about you.
I think if everybody who is affected or has got that virus, if they use that method, maybe it's going to reduce the spread of the virus as well. They protect themselves and they protect others
I think
as
the
well.
spread of the virus is happening because a lot of people are not getting tested. So if you are not tested, you can go around and have sex with a lot of people and you don't know you're passing on the disease. It's only when you start getting sick and you get to the hospital and you're told you have got HIV and maybe you have gone through over 3, 4, 5 relationships in that time, and those people, are you going to phone them back and tell them, I think you have got HIV? A lot of us do not do that. A lot of us keep quiet about it. It doesn't matter.
You kill a lot of people.
Yes, and ignorance kills us. So we need to get to know our status. Each and every individual, regardless, we need to know. And when we know our status, then we are in a better position to protect ourselves.
Thank you so much, Mama. Because of the time today, we're going to end it here. But what I'm going to remind people, this is our second edition of Talk Health. And then today we were talking about how to live well with HIV. Mama, thank you so much. And then the next time we are bringing them another third edition of Talk Health. So I'm sorry today we did not encourage you to call because we were limited with time. So maybe next time we will try and manage if you can get maybe 3 calls to ask Mama questions, because it's real proof that you can live with HIV and you can live well as long as God still give you the breath of life, and then whenever God decide, that's when you will go. Anyway, we all gone. So for now, we're gonna say goodbye, Mama. Thank you very much for coming.
Yeah.
Are you gonna say hi to your husband?
Oh my. Hello.
Next time we will develop that.
Yes.
Thank you very much. As for now, we encourage you to share our video. We encourage you to put the comment. We encourage you to contact us and bring your suggestion. And if you want any advice about how to live well with HIV, the number is there. We can connect you to Mama, and Mama will give you tips. So right now we're saying thank you and goodbye. Bye-bye.